What is up, guys? Welcome back to the podcast. We have a special guest. This is someone that I've got sent a lot of her videos, especially when I did a lot of videos pertaining Americans moving to Europe or just a lot that's been going on here in America and seeing how much safer and better Europe is. Y'all welcome Miss Antoinetta. Now it's her YouTube and it's glad to have you. As I mentioned, I've had a lot of people send a couple of your videos to me, and just seeing the difference when it comes to healthcare and different things like that. And I know you're currently living in Spain, but you had experience living here in the U.S. So that's why I wanted to bring you on to give your share your story with us today. But if you would like, you can introduce yourself.
Well, thank you for having me. And I'm Antoinetta. I'm born in Bulgaria, and I
Okay.
lived in the US for 20 years and all over Europe. We lived in Germany, in France for a little bit, but
Hmm.
most of my time I spent in the US. And currently
Nice.
I'm living in Spain for the past 3 years now.
Nice.
So life is different here for sure.
Yeah.
I have my business in the US still
Mhm.
because I can operate it from a distance. I'm a jewelry designer. I still have my jewelry produced in the US, but I can
Mhm.
design from anywhere, so that still goes
Nice.
on no matter where I am located. And I have my YouTube channel now where I share my insights about Valencia, Spain, and other cities in Spain like Barcelona, Madrid,
Mhm.
Marbella, and wherever I travel. But the highest interest it's really in the city I live in, which is Valencia.
Nice, nice. And as you mentioned, I did get a chance to look at your channel and see that you do travel to a couple of different places and stuff like that. So that's
Yes.
pretty awesome. I'm glad to have you on here. Like I said, I've seen a bunch of your videos and people in Spain love you. I've mainly seen just those according to Spain and those different cities, but I like Spain.
Yeah.
It seems like a very very nice country. The weather, you gotta let me know. I know I didn't ask this question, but you gotta let us know about the weather. What's the weather like? Cause it looked very hot.
The weather, it's pretty much like California. I lived in LA, so
Okay.
it's very similar. It has a little more diversity in terms of weather. So we have a little
Hmm.
more rain, then it gets a little colder in the winter, but it's nothing like, other countries up
Yeah.
north. So it's still very pleasant, very beautiful. In the summer, it gets hot and a little humid, but it's
Hmm.
nothing unbearable. So I'm okay
Okay.
with the weather. I really like the weather here. I like it that
That's
it has a little more seasons, so to say. Yeah, and
yeah.
so are the people. Warm weather, warm people. Like I've gotten nothing but like great response from anybody that's seen my
Hmm.
channel or any topic I talk about in Spain. Everybody's like really sweet here.
That's nice. That's nice. And you mentioned the north because I've seen a lot of snow, very cold in certain parts, but I think only seen one video ever that it was snow in Spain and everybody was shocked. Everybody was out.
Oh
It
yeah,
almost
that was in
reminded me.
Madrid. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
in
Hmm.
Madrid, but that was like some exception. I don't know, like 50 plus years, nothing like this happened before. But
Yeah.
yeah, I've seen videos too in Madrid. It was pretty brutal. Yeah,
Yeah.
here no, here there's nothing extreme. They had a
Hmm.
few floods a couple years
Oh,
ago, but nothing really extreme. Some heat in
uh,
the summer, but it's
yeah.
normal. Like nothing extreme. It's beautiful weather.
Okay,
Yeah.
so if you would suggest what is the perfect time to come to Spain? It's at least where it's not too crowded, but it's still good
Yeah.
weather, not too many people out. What would be that?
Definitely the off seasons. So anywhere in the spring or
Okay.
fall, it's the best. Like May it's perfect time,
Okay.
or late September. September it's
Mm,
also a great month. Even October, all these
nice.
months that are not in the Christmas time and no
Mm-hmm.
summertime. I think it's perfect. It's beautiful. And of course, like if
Yeah.
you want to see fires here, because this is like
Mm-hmm.
the biggest festival, that's
Yeah.
happening in March for almost a full month of March.
Oh
And
wow.
yes, but if you want to see like an event like that, really you have to plan in advance and like book your B&B or hotel,
Mhm.
because it gets sold out. It's like it's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. But yeah, I love Spain though. I've seen quite a bit of videos, and I definitely have it on my list to go. I know a little bit of Spanish. I
Yeah.
don't know too much, but I think I know enough to
Oh, good.
get by to get me
Yeah,
by.
people
But
are nice. I mean, they're very, very tolerant. Even if you don't
mhm.
speak the language perfectly, everybody's been so nice. Yeah, and in the bigger cities, of course, they speak more,
Yeah.
like in Madrid, Barcelona. Even
Mhm.
here, I've noticed a difference. People, first time I visited Valencia was 2017. So
Okay.
we were just getting in some touristic restaurants and spots, people who speak English, and now it's pretty much everywhere. So
Yeah.
it's been quite good. Yeah.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing. It means I can make it. I can do it. I can make it as long as I have a little
Yes,
bit of
yes.
a little long as I'm speaking my proper English and not my slang English, I guess.
Yeah, no, no. But I think as long as you approach, any place with
Hmm.
curiosity and like open heart,
Yeah,
you can go wrong there.
that's true. That's very true. But let's talk about your
Yeah.
life in Spain. How has life been for you since just moving and living in Spain?
Interesting. It has been much calmer on one hand
Okay.
compared to the US. We're so used
Hmm.
to fast pace and everything. It's
Yeah.
moving, constantly rushing somewhere.
Hmm.
Here, things are like people really. It's not an exaggerated statement.
Hmm.
People in Spain prioritize their life, their well-being, their family, their friends. Really, the work it's not number one priority for them.
Right.
So and they're just living their life, and it's calmer. And you can really, once you live here for a while, not at the very beginning, but once you live here for a while,
Hmm.
you kind of you reset your brain, and
Yeah.
you just start functioning at a different wavelength, like just differently,
Hmm.
and maybe even more, I don't know, more openly towards other possibilities. Because when you're
Right.
when you're in this rush phase, sometimes
Hmm.
I'm sure we miss things around that we can take advantage of, or just experience. And this way, when you give a little bit of more tranquility around yourself, you can see other things.
Right. And I
Yeah.
think you said some important stuff, and it's crazy because everybody I've interviewed, everybody always tell me how slow paced it is and how fast the U.S. is compared to other countries in Europe. Because I would just tell somebody when I went to New York, I visited New York, and it just seemed fast. Now I live in Texas. It's a little
Yeah.
slower than New York for sure. But like you
Yeah.
mentioned, like you like in the rat race when it comes to work still, and I don't stay in a major city, but I stay by a major city, which is Dallas, and Dallas is just you can tell the bigger
Yeah. Very
cities,
corporate. Yeah.
yeah. So the bigger cities, the faster the
Yeah.
pace is. So that's why I was like, I can't wait to visit Europe just to see. All right, let's see if this is a really
Yeah.
slow pace. Let's see if time really going slow here, because I feel like time just
Yeah.
so fast here in the States and it speeds up. But
Yeah,
it's
it's interesting because I think so many things are related to what we do for
mm-hmm,
work, or anything that you're interested in, you're doing every day, that this kind of determines the pace of life. So
yeah,
if the work is your full focus, of course you're gonna rush, because you
mm-hmm,
have to get things done, talk to so many people, or run to so many
yeah,
places. Or but when it's not, and when family and friends are your priority, you still people here still do their job. Like, I mean,
mm-hmm,
they're responsible, they do their work, but it's just not that. If things don't get done, like, they're gonna get done tomorrow.
right,
So
right.
that's the famous Spanish phrase, mañana. Everything can
Mañana,
happen
yep.
tomorrow.
Yeah, because I that's
Yeah.
how I feel. Because I know in college I was studying engineering, and of course people tell me, oh, you're gonna make some great money. Mind you, it's a lot of work because it's about a 5-year degree and stuff. But then I had the opportunity to work at an engineering company,
Yeah.
and they were just at work all day. They didn't seem happy to me. They never smiled. So I'm like, I'm not. I want to be an
Yeah.
engineer, but I don't want to. Like they were. I ain't gonna lie.
No.
Even some kids in the class, or yeah, in the college classes and stuff,
Yeah.
they could be jerks. They could be a little
Yeah.
stubborn and stuff. And all. I'm like, I'm not trying to be that way. Don't want to be around people that way. But like you said, they're working 80
That's good.
hours a week, and it's so
Mhm.
craziness.
It's good that you didn't lose sight of what you like doing or what you don't like
Exactly.
doing,
Hmm.
because so many people, and of course it's understandable, I'm not blaming them, but I'm just saying that so many people just are getting involved into their everyday life
Hmm.
that there is just no time to even
Exactly.
look around and see what's happening around you, because let's face it, I mean, we're not the most important people. There are
Right.
other things happening, and but unless you have a little bit of time to look around,
Hmm.
you don't know. You just don't know.
And I think that was the main thing for me because I knew I wanted to spend time with family, wanted to be there, for every situation. It's like those small things matter,
Yeah,
and being at work was just not that just wasn't the ideal life for me because as you see, like you mentioned, you see people working 80-hour weeks. Once they get home, they have nothing to give
yeah,
to their families. They work so
yeah,
much, they come home tired. It's just a repeated cycle, as if it's just them all by themselves, all alone, type of thing. And
exactly.
that's just what I noticed here in the States. Especially as I got older, I realized I'm like, that's not living at all.
No, no, no. But it's very hard to realize that. I'm glad you did, but it's very
Hmm.
hard to realize it when you are in this environment. You have to
Yeah.
take outside of this environment to travel. I think that's why I think travel is so important.
Hmm.
Even though you're just going somewhere as a tourist, it's also very different when you live somewhere and when you're going somewhere just to visit as a tourist.
Hmm.
But it's still very important to just visit other cultures, see how other people live.
Yeah.
Like it's not you know it's just there's so many so many more cultures and languages and just different things happening that we
Right.
don't we don't get to know unless we get on a plane and just go somewhere.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's why I've been very open minded to learn about different things because I just always knew it's always more to it than here because I haven't been to every state. I've been to a certain ones. I've been to Florida, New York, uh, Oklahoma is like down the street. That's not much different. Down south, it's not
no,
too different. Just about the
yeah,
same. But up north, going to New York, that was just different. I said I can't go back here. But
but
other
it's
than
still
that,
but it's still the US. Like here in
yeah,
Europe, if you move anywhere with an airplane in two
mhm,
hours you'll be in a different world,
yeah,
completely different world. And one is dictated by the language, but
mhm,
really things change so much when you get to another country. And countries are so close to each other here.
yeah.
In the US, you're on a plane for like 5 hours and you're still in the
Still in
States.
you,
It's,
yeah.
yeah, it's
That's
not,
that's
nothing
just like
different.
Texas. Like driving to San Antonio is
Oh my
like
God, it's
five
huge.
hours. Yeah, and it's 5 hours from where I am, and you're driving
Yes,
so long. I think getting to Oklahoma is quicker than for me to get to San Antonio, Texas, which is crazy.
it's
Even though
like,
I'm not like it's
yeah,
insane. It's a long drive, very long.
that was one thing I did not like in the US, in LA specifically, because we
Oh,
we live in our cars there. We were
hmm,
living in our cars. No matter where you go, you have to be in your car. You have to,
yeah,
drive for hours. You can't do anything spontaneous. I have to always book, whenever I'm going to see friends. I have to know
yeah,
which day, when I'm going there. There's nothing like here in Spain. I can just leave my house and not even call anybody. I can just walk somewhere and
yeah.
randomly meet people, or
Hmm.
even if I decide to call somebody, some things are way more spontaneous. And because you're not always in a mood when
Hmm.
you booked your meeting with your friends. You're not always in a mood to go there. But if you're out and you're just spontaneously walking on the
Hmm.
streets, it's much more effortless, so to
Yeah.
say. So I like that. I don't have to use the car all the time.
Hmm.
um even if I'm catching a metro or I'm biking somewhere, it's more pleasant because in a car, the car creates like an
Oh yeah.
isolative experience, like you're alone, and it
Yeah.
promotes loneliness, and it's just making you feel alone. I don't like that.
Yeah, and it makes you think a lot. You're just
Yes.
overthinking or think, you're just doing a lot just
Yeah.
being in a car. And like you said, it's
Yeah.
uncomfortable, very uncomfortable too, especially if you're the one driving. But I could
Yeah.
just imagine the traffic in LA just because the traffic in Dallas is
Yeah.
bad. So LA, I'm sure that's even worse. It's even worse than
Yeah.
just getting around.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the car life
Yeah.
sucks. It does. I mean, I have a car. I do have to drive most places, but when I have to drive a distance, I'm not up for it right away. It gotta be something very very important for me to
Yeah.
get up in a car
Yeah.
and go though. So,
But
but
it changes your mentality so much
yeah,
because like even when I'm biking or walking, you see so many things.
yeah,
You
that's
see
true.
so many things. If you're driving, you're on the road, like I don't see anything around me.
Yeah,
It's
at all.
so that's another way that we're isolating ourselves when we're
Hmm.
driving. But when you bike or walk, like it's so much outside, like
Yeah.
there is so much going on, so many stories, so many
Hmm.
people living their lives and having their stories, and they're being
Yeah.
shared because when you're on the street, everybody's you know around you.
Right. Because I could just imagine. I know
Yeah,
driving here in Texas, you're just passing by the same stores every 2 to 5 miles.
it's boring. It's
I see a
boring.
McDonald's, go 5 more miles, see another McDonald's to the left, go another five
Yep.
miles, see a
But hey,
McDonald's to the right.
Mexican
So,
Mexican food in Texas, oh my God,
oh,
I love it. I
I could
love it.
cook it. I cook it. I cook it. We have a meat market here and stuff, and my wife's
Yes.
Hispanic, so I have no choice.
Yeah.
I eat tacos almost
Oh,
every day.
so
Just
good,
about
so good.
very good. I be telling
Yeah,
people, the tacos and barbecue down here is what it's
so good.
about. What it's about. But your life in America, how were your years here in America when you were here? Could you say you was here 20 years?
Yeah, 20
Oh, 20
years. So
years.
I went through school. I graduated from a very prestigious school for gemology.
Okay.
It's in the jewelry, this whole jewelry field.
Mm-hmm.
And because my father was a jeweler, so this is my whole process. I just continued the tradition of jewelry making and designing. And I opened my business. I went through some really hard moments of keeping
Mm-hmm.
my business because the 2008 crisis hit, and just I had to keep my studio where I was working.
Mm-hmm.
And I've experienced a lot of different things in the States, and for which I'm very grateful, because I don't think other places, like let's say if I was in Europe,
Mm-hmm.
there is a lot more selective, how can I say, you can't just like open a business, start working.
Right.
In the States, that's much easier.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Much easier. People can hire you much easier. Here in Europe in general, it's a little bit hard for foreigners. They're always going to prefer whatever you are. They're going to
Mm-hmm.
prefer their people that are born here, that are natives.
Right.
It's just kind of like an unwritten law. It's nothing really openly discriminating, but it's
Mm-hmm.
just how it is.
Yeah.
Europeans are a little more isolated in that way. Like they first hire and they go for the people that are nationals, then foreigners.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in that regard, I never felt that in the US. You can speak half the language as long as you have skills, as long as you can
Yeah.
demonstrate your skills. You have papers, of course, like people can hire you. They're
Mm-hmm.
giving you a chance, like you can start working. So that's something that's very positive. And also another thing that I like, it's over there you're getting stimulated a lot
Yeah.
to start new things, to because there's a lot of competition. There are a lot of people that they're
Yep.
competitive ideas, competitive, and just things moving fast. Also make you create more, create
Mm-hmm.
faster, create just more. And and I like that because it's energizing.
Yeah.
So I worked on my business. I work with some amazing people,
Mm-hmm.
even celebrities. That I was
Nice.
lucky because I was in Hollywood, in the heart of all this fashion and
Mm-hmm.
celebrity business. It's everything. It's happening there. Stylists are there, so there is accessibility to people like me, like artists
Right.
that create jewelry or clothing. So that was an exciting part. But now, a lot of things are changing, and even though I still have my business, I'm designing and I'm making
Mm-hmm.
things. I don't have this kind of stimulation around me because even celebrity world changed so much,
Yeah.
and it's about to change even more now with artificial intelligence coming into play. So
Exactly.
many
Yeah.
things will change, but so I started my YouTube channel here, and at the beginning was more about I was trying to enlighten people about different types of jewelry. So it
Mm-hmm.
started more about my jewelry business and just talking about jewelry, educating people about different things. And then slowly I started showing things from Valencia, basically from my life as a designer here in
Mm-hmm.
Valencia. And the interest started growing because let's face it, I mean, jewelry, it's a very narrow niche on YouTube.
Right.
It's not like travel or moving, relocating to places. This is
Mm-hmm.
much bigger niche, and so many more people are interested in those topics. So I restructured my channel. So now it's more about my life here in Valencia and
Mm-hmm.
what I do, and just sharing my experiences with people, how they can come here, and so on. So that's where I am right now.
Yeah, and that's good. That's good. Yeah, like you mentioned, America it does have some great opportunities. You got, like you say, you got your pros and your cons, and the creativity because people are competing. You come in, you got the jewelry, and everybody's loving it. But now you got somebody that probably took inspiration off of you, like, I want to do that now. So it
Yeah,
can be a lot, especially when you're working with Hollywood and different things like that. And like you said, just the changes. I mean, we see it in movies, TV, and you mentioned AI.
yeah,
AI is changing everything to the point
everything.
I'm like, I don't know if you remember, there was a movie called I Robot with Will Smith,
Yes,
and I was like, we are about to live in the I Robot phase because everything is going straight to
yeah,
AI and just computers and systems and stuff like that. I'm like, at
yeah.
this, I don't know when people are going to be out of job, but it's looking very soon.
I was that's what I was gonna say. Like, I think people are focused on the wrong things.
Hmm.
If we just kind of realize what's going on,
Yeah.
maybe we can direct it and manage it better. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a possibility. But also, I mean, we're so, as human beings in general, that's regardless of any state or country,
Hmm.
we're just so kind of primal and not knowing which are the most important things. Like,
Right.
we get upset about so many things that
Hmm.
only seem important, but at the same time we're fighting instead of just like laser focusing on where the real problem is. And
Exactly.
like in the US, to me, the real problem, it's economic. It's
Yep.
based on people not having enough money. And when I say that, I don't
Hmm.
mean like some rich people live great. No, it's kind of like it goes all across because it
Hmm.
translates into so many other things that they're trying to occupy our minds with like non-existent problems,
Yeah.
where I think this is the biggest problem. Because if you're not calm, and when you cannot cover your basic needs,
Hmm.
of course everything else becomes a trigger, and
Right.
everything else can be exaggerated and created as a problem. But the basic thing is like, we're all the same. We
Yes.
do the same things, we need the same things, we eat the same food. If we just have health taken care of, the food
Hmm.
taken care of, our shelter, our house, everything else can kind of get balanced out, and
Yeah.
maybe we won't be poking our eyes like we do right now.
Yeah, because I know that's what I was just telling my mom. I'm like, it's crazy to me that healthcare here in America is really is really everything is just individualized, and they're just being selfish. And I see that, if I get insurance right now to just cover, any bodily injuries, that's separate from if I get go to the dentist. That's separate if I get vision, and it's like all of those have to do with health. And I had did a video because I had to get knee surgery, and my knee surgery cost almost $20,000 for them to
Oh
like
my God.
the surgery itself wasn't even that expensive. The surgery itself was like $2,000 $3,000, but because they had to give me the anesthesia, because they had to put me in a room, because they had to do then all that start adding up to like 11 and a
Did
12, and
did
it's a lot.
your insurance cover that? Your insurance cover that?
See, at the time I didn't have insurance, so I had to pay out of pocket. I had to do all that out of pocket. So just imagine somebody with insurance, they probably still would have paid at least half of that. Half of that with
Honestly, I
insurance.
mean, to me, I think this is. I mean, even if we don't talk about any other problems,
Hmm.
to me, healthcare is like number one, because
Yeah,
what is your life if you're sick? I mean,
exactly.
and if you can't afford that, to one, you have a disease and you have to go
Hmm.
through this life experience on its own, and then on top of that you have to deal with financing that.
Exactly.
To me, this is it's almost, it's like it's insulting to to
Hmm.
every human being. And here in Spain, believe it or not, you as a foreigner can decide to just insure yourself
Hmm.
for like 95 euros.
Yeah, and see, that's not bad. That's not bad at all.
Yeah.
But I say, like you said,
So,
I think that is the main problem here. Everybody would probably be able to balance life if they wasn't thinking about, oh, I gotta pay for healthcare, I gotta pay this much out of
yeah.
pocket, or I gotta pay for this just to go get an education that's not even paying me the amount when I get the job.
Yeah.
I'm not even making close to what I just paid for the education. So, like you said, I say
Yeah.
healthcare and education. Those like the top two things
Mhm.
that I always see. Like, and those not the only things, of course, but those are the top
Yeah.
two things that at least give you a good head start in life, especially
Yeah.
those that don't have the money to, just already just get things handed to them type of thing. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's ridiculous down here. It's
It
ridiculous.
is. It is, but I'm really glad that you're gonna travel and just get
Hmm.
experience some other things. And
Yeah.
everything, by the way, in Europe, it's also very different because the countries that are up north,
Hmm.
you if you travel, you're gonna see how things change going south,
Right.
economically, but also the people.
Hmm.
The northern countries are more similar. It's the typical Western world. They're more closer. Certain things are closer to the American
Hmm.
mentality. And then once you go south, like Spain, Portugal, southern Italy, people are way more laid back,
Yeah.
like not motivated by money so much.
Right.
It just, yeah,
And see, that's why I can't wait to
different story.
experience. Yeah, because I got it. I
Yeah,
said I just need to go on like a European tour or something and see all of it. Cause I got Italy.
yeah,
I seen Greece is beautiful. Greece is real nice.
yes,
Where else? It's some other places too down south, southern. But yeah, I do have those on the list. I do have those on the list to visit.
very
I
good.
just I just need to see all of Europe. I think that would be a bucket list thing. But I might
Yeah,
retire
I
there. I might
think
have to retire there.
better, you have time, and now
Yeah.
they have in Spain, they have the digital nomad visa, so that's something
Oh
new.
yeah. That. Hmm.
So if you're able to make your money outside of Spain, for example, I think
Hmm.
Portugal actually got rid of it. They had it for a while, but
Hmm.
Germany, other places, they have it. So if you're making your money outside, it's very hard to like look for a job here.
Hmm.
So like in Spain, most people come either with money or they're making their money online
Okay.
for sure. Yeah, like up north in all the northern countries,
Hmm.
maybe you can find a job. So for people that are looking for jobs, maybe up north it's better. I think there are way more opportunities in
Hmm.
on the job market. But yeah, but if you have, investments, or if you make your money online, Spain, Portugal, southern Italy are very, very pleasant to live.
That would be nice. I'm gonna have to
Yeah,
consider that. That would be real nice because I know
yeah, just
I've
explore.
yeah, it'd be nice to explore because I've seen people like you said, digital nomads. I've seen people be able to work remote jobs and just travel and do those remote jobs. Especially as long as you got some good Wi-Fi, good internet, then you're good. You're gonna
Exactly,
make it. So.
exactly,
But just talking
exactly.
about YouTube, what was your thought process? I know you kind of told us a little. You made the YouTube to kind of promote your jewelry and different things. But what was that thought process to
Mhm.
really just show? You know what? Let me just show where I'm at, how I'm living, like what makes it so great to just basically be a travel blogger out here. What was the thought
Yeah,
process on that?
my narcissistic nature. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, it's no, it's really, I wanted to share. One was documenting our experiences,
Hmm.
because me and my boyfriend, we travel, and first it started a little bit not serious, but
Hmm.
there's something about video that helps you preserve the moment a little bit
Hmm.
more in a more condensed manner. So we started kind of just recording and not so serious. Um, and then really the feedback, the comments that I start getting,
Hmm.
it motivated me because so many people were asking for more and more and having
Yeah.
questions about different things here in Spain. And then it became like more laser focused on Valencia. But yeah, this high interest that I received, it really gave me an indication. Okay, maybe
Hmm.
maybe I can do something that's valuable to other
Hmm.
people too. Plus documenting my life.
Right.
And that's how we evolved into what it is now.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, those comments, like you said, of course you get those trolls that try to say this and that, but you get the
Yeah,
majority of the people that just like, hey, could you do this next? Hey, where are you? Oh my God, can you
yeah,
talk about this? Especially, I just love the fact when you have people that are from the area, they're so happy to see somebody that's not familiar or from the area, just
yes,
promote their area.
yeah.
So that's like when I
Oh
start
my God,
doing, yeah, they love it.
these Spanish people, Valencianos, everybody that came across my channel, my God, they're the most grateful
Hmm.
people. Everything, I never had anyone, any Spanish comment saying anything negative, not even
That's good.
nearly nothing negative. I don't know
Mhm.
why. Maybe it's what you say, they're just happy that I'm talking
Yeah.
highly of the city. And I like where I live, so it's an honest opinion on what I think about this city. But they're so happy. And the negative comments, I didn't really get like so many. Just sometimes,
Hmm.
people can have different opinions, but I haven't
Yeah.
gotten like really anything nearly nasty, which I'm
Hmm.
very happy.
Yeah.
But if I do, like, I don't respond to
Hmm.
negativity. It just means that the person is unhappy in their life and they have no
Yeah.
other channel or a way to express that anger. So I'm just I'm passing by, and yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you said, that's good that you're getting a lot of love and everybody just loving what you do in that area. Like you said, you're promoting the area, and that's one thing I do love about just doing videos. That you do certain areas, and people like, oh, do this city or do that country,
Yeah,
and they just love to see their country on there. I have people like, hey, I was in that video sitting over there. It could have been a
exactly.
video from like 2 years ago, but people remember
Right.
and They just love it, and that's why I
Yeah.
love it. That's how I know. I get a great response if I was to visit Europe and
It's
stuff.
always
So
the different
right.
perspective, because how I see things, it's not necessarily how Spanish people that are from here see things, and how other foreigners,
Hmm.
um, but yeah, it's interesting for them, I guess.
Yeah, very. But this was good. This has been good. But I do have one more question for you.
Yeah.
Back to America. Do you ever
Yes.
have thoughts of visiting back? I know you say your business is there, so you might have to visit. Every once in a while,
Yeah.
you might have to go back and forth. But yeah, what's your thoughts on visiting again?
Definitely visiting. I was going to visit twice already, but
Hmm.
I had some unfortunate events in my family, so I
Okay.
couldn't visit the States. But definitely, actually, very soon, I'm planning to visit. I miss, I think I would like going back just to see, certain things,
Hmm.
eat at some spots that we ate, and see, some friends that we still have there and family. But yeah, but moving back, I don't know. It's not a
Yeah.
plan yet. We like where we are right now, and
Hmm.
why change something that's not broken? Or how was the saying?
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Exactly.
it's and I think actually, if we would have moved now, would probably be harder, because
Hmm.
so many people are looking into just escaping the US.
Yeah.
But we moved at the right time. It was right before pandemic happened, and
Okay.
we just, it was right before that, 2019. It was the right time. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm glad we were not there during this whole madness. And it was, even though we were locked down in
Hmm.
Spain, still I don't have bitter experience here. It was
Yeah.
totally fine, because people are just they're very social and
Hmm.
socially oriented, and they care for one another. So
Right.
it's not when this thing happened, even though it was so unusual,
Hmm.
still, people are coming out at 7 o'clock, clapping, talking to the balconies, playing
Right.
some music, just so they're not alone. Because they have a lot of elderly people in Spain.
Hmm.
It's one of the countries that they have the highest life expectancy. So
Yeah.
but I think, they live very well here, and they don't feel so alone. Um, in the US, I think, people in general are more lonely, but when you reach
Hmm.
that age where you are actually lonely, it
Yeah.
becomes pretty concerning.
Hmm.
Yeah. And when you're young, you don't think about that, but
Right.
when you start approaching that age, it's different.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
different, but like you mentioned, I'm sure in Spain, like you said, everybody just care for one another. They're concerned, and when that happened, I just feel like here in America, I say when that happened and when Donald Trump got elected president, I feel like it was just a divide right there. Then the pandemic, and it was like an even more divide, and you just see the division, and it just haven't been the same. At least in my eyes, it just haven't been the same because we've been so divided. People not caring about what other, I understand not caring what people think, but not caring that a deadly
Yeah.
virus is really being a problem and
Yeah.
stuff like that. People just
Yeah.
didn't care. It was every man for themselves, really, and people just still did
Yeah.
what they want to do. So.
And again, I think all divisiveness, all divisions are happening
Hmm.
because of other problems as well.
Hmm.
And if you let's face it, like if you're not alone, if you feel the support of family and friends and people,
Hmm.
it's very hard to break that bond.
Yeah.
Nobody can make you hate somebody just
Mm-mm.
because, like, but when you don't feel supported financially, emotionally, from people around you, then anything can trigger this divisiveness. Anything
Exactly.
can make you hate your neighbor.
Hmm.
Otherwise, who did anything to you? Like, I mean, who did
Exactly.
anything to me to hate them?
Hmm.
It's like, so nobody can convince you to hate somebody. So
Nah.
it's a very, but like, and that's another thing I like here. It's like people again, like they're not so much into what's happening, like on that scope. I'm sure they,
Mm-hmm.
maybe because I
I
don't speak
see.
Spanish so
Uh-huh.
well, I'm sure they discuss their politics as well. They're probably being mad about certain things.
Right.
But I don't know. I wouldn't know because I don't speak Spanish. But like it seems like you know they're worried, like should they visit this pub or this bar
Mm-hmm.
over
Yeah.
there, or like where, because they tried this menu del dia. Not to simplify it, but it's just things that are, okay, should we try another food?
Right.
There's no reason to kind of fuel any negativity and to give into that. It's my opinion.
Yeah, because I know here in the States, it just, I mean, I'm sure you can turn on the news. You live here for 20 years, you turn on the
Toxic.
news, it's always something bad, somebody dying, this happening and that happening. And that's all you see on the
Very
news. I
toxic.
don't, I don't even remember the news even presenting something good other than maybe graduations.
No,
That's about it. But other than that,
no.
it's just
Well,
bad news.
that's another reason, your channel exists and my channel exists, and I
Hmm.
think more people will actually focus on independent media like that, like,
Yeah.
like you and I, like other channels that are presenting the news from a different standpoint.
Hmm.
Because the traditional media, it's I mean, it's almost dead. I don't know
Yeah.
who's watching. If you're below 80 and you're still watching CNN or Fox, or I think it's a problem.
Yeah.
There's so much independent media and so many other viewpoints that you can actually use as a barometer for what's happening,
Hmm.
than traditional media. So like I mean, I don't watch the main news at all, so I really don't know what's
Hmm.
happening, what they're saying. But yeah, it's all fear, because
Yep.
when they keep you in fear, you feel weak, you feel
Hmm.
like your hands are tied, you feel like you can't react, and you feel more negative overall.
Right.
So
Exactly.
um yeah, so just yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I think. That's how I feel because it's like you said. I don't watch the news either, but they got Twitter, they got Facebook, and I don't
Yeah,
know how they just pop up. It's crazy how they pop up because usually if a
yeah,
random channel or something pops up, maybe it got sponsored or they promoting it or something like. The
yeah,
news it just pops up and what you see just negativity, like you said, putting fear in the hearts of people, and
yeah,
that's what's really getting people is that fear. So,
yeah.
but
People shouldn't forget, like, what we're all about and where the real
exactly.
problems are. Like, that's
Exactly.
my opinion, because otherwise we're so easy to get triggered. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we're just like we're just like animals. It's the
Yeah.
smallest thing can trigger you, and when you know that, you can control much easily. So people up
Exactly.
top can much easily control others by
Mm-hmm.
just spitting some word at you or just
Yep.
telling you something. So in order to be stronger, you have to be more informed.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to be more informed, you have to open up your mind, you have to
Exactly.
travel, you have to watch different media. And I think people should just consider even watching things that are opposite of their views, something
Mm-hmm.
that it's how can I say, something that's provoking their normal thinking, their
Right.
traditional thought, like something that's gonna put you out of your box, out of your comfort zone, and maybe this will help shift things or balance things.
Yeah. Because being open minded, I think that's what helped me out a lot. Because like when I started looking at different videos, seeing other people's experiences, and learning about different countries, it just opened my mind
Yeah,
to a lot. Because I always
for
thought,
sure.
you hear America, land of the free, home of the brave. That just, growing up, I had no choice. That's just what we heard. We did the pledge every day. Then
Yeah,
learning about other countries, they're like, we don't do the pledge every day, and
yeah,
it's more safer here than America. I'm
yeah.
looking at America. It's like America is seeming more like a third world country than first world nowadays. So, especially
It
just with
is.
everything going on. So,
I mean, it is. When people say crime, like It's not
Mm-hmm.
like there's no crime in Spain or let's say in Valencia where I live.
Mm-hmm.
There is crime, but there is no like real violent crime.
Right.
There maybe there's some pickpocketing. Maybe I talked to a lady for like half an hour in the park, and she left her bag like unattended, like
Mm-hmm.
away further away from where we were standing. Of course they're gonna steal your bag. I
Yeah.
mean, the people are watching, but I mean, I don't consider this crime. It's just, you have to be careful with your belongings in
Yeah.
general. I'm saying it's an unfortunate
Mm-hmm.
event, but I'm saying this is not something where like you hear people being murdered or school
Right.
shootings or neighbors being stabbed and
Mm-hmm.
mentally ill people on the streets. Like, I don't see that here. I
Right.
don't see it, and there's no reason why we have this in the US. There's no reason
Mm-hmm.
about that. And it's really hurtful how they brought all the drug epidemic that's happening, the homelessness. These are like such painful problems to have,
Yeah.
that and I was an immigrant in the States. I mean, I came for a better future, for a
Mm-hmm.
better life there. And it was at the very beginning, but when things are changing for the worst,
Yeah.
why not address it? And like, why keep saying things that are untrue? So things
Mm-hmm.
change, empires fall, and we just have to adapt.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's very true because you just see in the United States. I remember growing up, we used to do fire drills, tornado drills, and when I got older, I was able to go back and teach at my old elementary school, and we're doing lockdown drills. We're just treating it like it's a normal thing when it shouldn't
Yeah.
be. It just shouldn't be. It has
No.
gotten ridiculous down there. Will we ever get back?
Yeah.
That's a big I don't know, just because of money,
Yeah.
greed
We don't
and
know.
selfishness. So, but
We don't know, but
hopefully,
in the meantime, we can explore other places. And if
exactly.
things get better, you ask me if I would go back. Who knows? Maybe if
Yeah,
things get really good, but for the time being, it's a
better
no.
there. Yeah, that's why I'm
Yeah.
looking. I'm looking like every other country looking like a better option right now.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah, and especially like yourself, if you have a job that it's a remote job,
hmm
or you can, cover your needs somehow online, or investments or retirement,
hmm
it's the best thing. At least try. Some people that are
yeah,
that are thinking if they should do this step, if they should take this step. I would say yes.
hmm
You're not losing anything.
right.
Go try, even try to live for a month, for 2 months, for 3 months. It doesn't have to be
hmm
Europe. It could be Asia, but experience something different, and it might surprise you. It's
Yeah.
maybe better.
That's what I've seen. So that's why I'm ready to experience. And I know I gotta stay like a week or two. So that's the longest I ever stay. Because when I travel, I don't stay too long. I'm a 3 days, and I didn't seen enough type of guy. But people
Yeah.
in Europe are like, hey, you're gonna need more than a week. You're gonna need more than a
At
month
least
to
two
really
weeks.
just yeah.
Yes.
So I was excited about that. So that's what I'm still deciding how long I should stay. Right now it's looking like a
Yeah. If you
week,
can
but
say, definitely no less than if you can stay 2 weeks,
hmm
it could be better. two
okay.
weeks 3 weeks even better, because you can
hmm
travel into different places. And trust me, the time goes fast once you're
Yeah,
here.
that's true.
Time goes fast, and you're gonna have a couple of days until you switch your
hmm
biological clock. You're gonna have some,
Yeah,
maybe, um yeah, but definitely you need a little more time
yeah,
to
because I
to
seen
see
the
things.
I seen the flights, and I'm pretty much wasting a day just being on an
Yeah.
airplane,
Yes.
just about. So,
Yes. And then the
but
jet lag,
yeah,
it's gonna take you time.
exactly. Because I know I gotta get a good nap in before I get adventurous and stuff like that.
Yes.
So, but
Yes,
Miss
but I'm sure you're gonna have a great time.
Oh, for sure, for sure. But this has been great. We had a good talk. I appreciate you, Miss Antoinetta, for jumping
Yeah.
on here with the interview and telling us a little bit about Spain and America. This
Yeah.
has been great. If you would like, let everybody know where we can find you on social media, and I'll put those links in the description.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. My YouTube channel, it's Antoinetta now with a double T. You're gonna link it in the description. And I have a Spanish channel, which is almost like a mirror to my English channel, where we're trying to dub some videos in Spanish. So for
Nice.
my Spanish audience, at least they can get bits and pieces of my English channel, and this way spread the word, just give more information about Spain. And yeah, I would love to see more people, more eyes on, what's going on here.
That's
And
nice.
thank
That's
you for having me on your podcast.
Oh, no problem, no problem. I appreciate you. Y'all make sure y'all check out Miss Antoinetta. Like she said, her YouTube channel. I'm gonna go check out the Spanish channel and all those, but I will have
Good.
those links in the description. But Miss Antoinetta, I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful time. But guys, that's all we have for this podcast. Y'all make sure y'all hit the subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. Make sure y'all give it a good rating. Make sure y'all share this episode. This was great. That's all we have. Y'all be blessed, be the best, and be you. I'm out.